All right, welcome back to the Family Wellness Content Plan, part of the Author Master series on content planning that I know is going to offer you massive value, insight and education around producing your own content plan, which allows you to market your practice, expand your practice, get new patients in, educate your existing patients, deliver awareness to the community and position you as a power authority in your area of expertise. We've overviewed this series of family wellness content planning, and we last video detailed really strongly what the 4 pillars are, 4 things that you can identify as the primary message that you have. Everyone will have a unique and distinct element to that. I'm going to continue to use what we have there to break down the next stage. Remember, we've got a theme that we want every family member adjusted, and then I broke it into 4 things. We want kids adjusted, one, mum adjusted before the pregnancy, mum adjusted after the pregnancy, the whole family taken care of, and create a family culture where they love the chiropractic lifestyle. Now, what we do here, and again, I might just zoom that in for a second. You can see we're going to the supportive posts. So these posts down here are the 4 major points. Okay, they're pillar posts. They're big articles that show that we're going to cover significant topics. Now we're going to take the 4 major points of these 4 major points and break them down. So what I'm going to do here is, in that part there that I wrote, it says, okay, so here are your pillar posts. Then I ask myself, what are the 4 things that matter most in pediatric care? Remember here I said, this is pediatric care. And this one here is preconception care. So this is what are the 4 things that matter most in conception and pregnancy. Down here, mother's health. What are the 4 things that matter most in maternity and women's health and well-being? And then down here, family health culture, family health, father's health and resilience. What are the 4 things that matter most in family health and well-being? And so when I ask that question of myself, I produce these answers, which become the supportive posts. And these are 400 to 800 words, which is not a lot. I've already spoken more than 400 words in just sharing this message here with you. So don't think that these have to be massive, elaborate, or overwhelming. You already know enough information with what you share with your patients to produce this content. Make no mistake, much easier than you would imagine. If you need help though, reach out, let me support you with that. So here, pediatric care, what are the 4 things that matter most? Well, I wrote, and you could be different, and I did this and worked with Dr. Cindy based on her comfort zones, her knowledge and her skill sets. Nervous system health. Well, we want, when we talk pediatrics, we want the mother to understand, and if the child is older, them to understand, that there is an importance for us restoring integrity to the nervous system for the child's health. We also want to talk about developmental milestones and primitive reflexes. These are integral to making progress neurologically and developmentally for the child, therefore bringing about a healing response. We also want to talk about diet and nutrition for the child and exercise and posture. So for us, when you talk pediatric care, we're going to talk those 4 points. That doesn't mean there can't be 30-point checklist or that there aren't other points that you could include that you might think is relevant, but I'm trying to give you a template, a framework that you can use to start realizing, well, this is what we've done, well, what could you do? And those 4 points may not be sufficient for you, but they are certainly a great starting point and that we have used effectively and successfully. So then we say, okay, preconception, conception, pregnancy, what are the 4 major points there? Well, we want to talk in depth about preconception care. What is preconception care? What do you need to do during preconception care? And why is preconception care even relevant? Shouldn't you just go and get pregnant whenever you want? Well, there are complications, there are considerations, and we want to talk about those. We want to talk then and prepare them for labour, birth and delivery and the role that chiropractic can have in supporting that, being the best it can be. And then adjusting to the first week of the birth. So both mother and child. So they're our core 4 points during preconception, conception, pregnancy and birth. Yours again may be different. In here, when we talk about women's health, we talk about postnatal emotional well-being. That is addressing the potential possibility for postnatal depression, what that is, how that comes about, and therefore how to prevent it. We talk about prenatal care and then the healthy pregnancy. We talk about I already got all excited about that and went back one, please forgive me. We then talk about postnatal rehabilitation. What do we have to do? Core muscles, post-surgically if that's the case, in order to give them the opportunity after the birthing experience to respond well. What do they, as a mother, now need to do diet and nutritionally to give themselves the best recovery process and optimization of their health and well-being and for their child? And that can also mean, well, we've got to talk about garlic and onions because if you're breastfeeding, may create some gas. So there's a whole consideration through there. And then what the mother needs to do as self-care. So you can see those 4 points are a breakdown, and there's lots for us to talk about. Finally, when we talk about family culture, we talk about family connection, bonding time and activities, communication, acceptance and support. Make sure all of this is in place, getting the sleep, having solutions around that process and making sure the father is acknowledged and given health attention as well, because this is part of a whole family culture. So that is, again, how we break those down. We take a big topic, break it into smaller topics, and then we have information that we want to share around that, so we're producing a great framework for content, education and information. But it starts with having a clear theme, saying what are the 4 most important parts of my theme, and then breaking those down into 4 distinct points that you feel are relevant, that you would like to share, and that allow more effortless content production. But we're going to talk very, very deeply at the end about how we integrate all of this and how we come up with all of this. But before we do, next video, I'd love to see you there. We're going to talk about the video production. See you there.